welcome back to my channel, and today my topic is about the touch. I got my research from the Encyclopedia of the Human Body. Now let's go back to talking about touch. We touch things in our everyday lives, whether it's opening an umbrella or playing piano, which is what I always do in the morning. We cannot rely on our lives without touch. Let's find out more about what causes our touch inside the body. The main reason we feel is because of the skin. Our skin is one of the most sensitive parts in our body, so you can't really feel anything except for your skin. Our skin has a lot of sensory receptors that also respond to this touch. This is a diagram, and as you can see, there are many different parts that make up the sensory receptors of the skin. These are the four main types that I'm going to talk about. The main receptors that respond to touch are the mechanoreceptors, which are found all over the body. And these mechanoreceptors are found in each part that I'm going to talk about now. First is the Merkel's disc. The Merkel's disc is this structure over here, and it's usually located at the very surface of the skin, shown at the arrow. The Merkel's disc, senses light touches. So if you're touching your skin very lightly, the Merkel's disc is corresponding to this touch. Then there's the Ruffini's corpuscle. And you can't see the Ruffini's corpuscle in this diagram, but it is usually in the middle. And this responds to medium touches and continuous touch. So if you ever felt a vibrating phone, you might pick the vibrations because of this continuous touch, and the Ruffini's corpuscle will sense this. As we go deeper into the skin, there is the Pannisian corpuscle. The Pannisian corpuscle is this round leaf shape pointing up to this leaf shape in the diagram, and this is found deeper inside the skin. This touch receptor senses very deep touches and also vibrations. And lastly, the free nerve endings, which may be blocked by my encyclopedia, are found all throughout the skin, and they're kind of like tree branches branching out to different parts of the skin. These usually will feel heat, pain, and coldness on your body. So these are the four main types of touch receptors, also known as mechanoreceptors. Subsequently, the skin will relate to temperature detecting, because how we sense our body temperature is because of our skin. The body constantly monitors the body temperature, and on average, the body temperature that is good is 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. The free nerve endings will be able to measure our body temperature, and these free nerve endings will send signals constantly to the hypothalamus, which is a part in the brain. It is relatively small, and it is shown in this picture over here. But this is the part of the brain that controls the entire body, whether it's our blood sugar levels, how fast our blood is pumping, all of that sort of stuff. These temperature detectors will work best when there is sudden changes. One example of this is when a boy suddenly makes contacts with cold water, when he is sliding down a water slide and is at the end. And this causes the temperature to suddenly drop, which causes these free nerve endings to send signals to the brain that they need to higher the temperature so the boy wouldn't get cold. The person will eventually adapt their body temperature to their surroundings because of these temperature detectors, the free nerve endings. In contrast to that, there's also the invisible limb. This happens when you receive an amputation, and an amputation is the act of cutting off a limb. So this is a picture of a man with a cut limb, and he now has a prosthetic limb which helps him walk. But as you can see, this part of his body is no longer attached to the rest of it. So this is called the phantom limb. When the brain wants to receive a signal from that part of the limb that is not there anymore, for example, my arm, the brain cannot reach it since all the parts are cut, including the bones, muscles, blood vessels, and the nerves. So the nerves will stop where it gets cut off, and the brain still wants the information. So whenever it goes back, it results in a tingling and even painful feeling called the phantom limb. This Nabal king, which is Viscount Nelson in this encyclopedia, has experienced this, and he has an amputated limb, and he described his feelings as a tingling feeling in his shoulder. On the other hand, touch may be sweet and it's not painful, but otherwise it can be very harsh, called pain. Pain is a harsh feeling in our bodies, and no one enjoys this, but we can experience this in our everyday lives. Pain is actually good, however, because it keeps us from doing dangerous acts. These people all are experiencing pain, and you notice that they all have the same expressions. They have a harsh, scrunched up feeling in their face, and also their hand is clutching the place where it's painful. And pain is caused because a type of nerve called nociceptors respond to our brain and signal back to the part that is pained to pull back. So for example, if I pinch myself really hard, these nociceptors will send signals to my brain for my arm to pull back immediately. In this diagram, the pain is received from the free nerve endings. And like I said earlier, these received painful elements such as heat and coldness. Surprisingly, these free nerve endings are found all over the body, including our muscles, our feet, but surprisingly not our brains. But how do you get headaches? Headaches are formed because all the other parts of your body are causing the nerves to become pained inside the head. So it's actually not the brain's nerves that are responding to the brain. Finally, let's talk about sensitivity. Different parts of our body have more sense than others. And you might have seen these diagrams before, or this diagram. And this is a part-to-whole comparison of all our body parts and their sensitivity. The more sensitive a body part is, the more nerves it has. And when I'm talking about nerves, is those free nerve endings that are in your skin and they feel the touch. In this comparison, the more sensitive parts include the face overall, including the eyes, the nose, the tongue, and the lips. Also, the hands are some of the most sensitive parts of our body. Especially our fingertips, they can feel a lot. But the less sensitive parts of our body includes our legs and our arms, which are relatively small compared to this diagram. But what can we make use of our very sensitive hands? We can use Braille in order to read books. A blind reader often uses Braille and learns it in order for them to read books and articles. How it was invented was when 1824, a French teenager named Louis Braille invented the Braille system, which is a series of raised dots. I posted a picture of a Braille alphabet, and it's very simple. You can notice that that A has only one dot all the way to Z, which is a complex number of dots in certain places. All these Braille readers have to memorize this, but when they do, an experienced Braille reader can read 100 and plus words per minute. And this is what we can do with our hands. In conclusion, I think touch is an important part of our life. I cannot rely on anything without my touch because I basically touch everything in my everyday life. Thank you for listening. I hope you like